Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to explain the chapter We Are Not Afraid to Die. Some parts we have done already. I am reading this. Okay, this is a very adventurous story, and we shall learn from this story that we should install a sense of motivation and courage and enthusiasm. We should not lose our heart at the face of adversity. We should always keep our morale high, and we should always be bold and brave, and always try to be a resourceful, a person who just find out solution all the time. So we had surprise for 15 hours since the wave hit, but wave walker would not hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. This was the place they were just moving. I checked out charts and calculated that there were two small islands, okay, a few hundreds kilometers to the east. The narrator was carrying the map and could locate that two small islands are there from where they are just moving the direction. One of them, uh, Isle Amsterdam, was a French scientific base. Our only hope was to reach these pricks, small islands in the vast ocean. But unless the wind and seas abated so we could hoist sail, our chances would be slim indeed. Means the weather of the you know she was not very good, so uh, reaching at the particular place, okay, or getting the particular pin picks help, okay, they were thinking that it is very hard for them. The great wave had put our auxiliary engine out of action. Now it stopped working on January 4. After 36 hours of continuous pumping, we reached the last few centimeters of water. Now we had, means very few they traveled or just passed. We had only to keep pace with the water still coming in. We could not set any sail on the mainmast. Pressure on the uh, uh, rigging would simply pull the damaged section of the hull apart. So we hoisted the storm jib and headed for where I thought the two islands were. Means they were trying to find out the islands. Okay, according to the map, Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits, and we ate our first meal in almost 2 days. See the condition. But our respite was short lived. At 4 p.m., black clouds began building up behind us. Within the hour, the wind was back to 40 knots and seas were getting higher. The weather continued to deteriorate throughout the night, and by dawn on January 5, our situation was again desperate. Extreme miserable condition or extreme pathetic condition. The narrator was completely stuck in a situation as if a chewed chewing gum stuck in a hair. Means until unless you will not cut off the hair, the chewing gum will not come out. Same case is here with the narrator. He was completely stuck, and there was no hope for their survival or escape. So see the food, see the condition, and see the atmosphere. When I went in to comfort the children, Jack asked, "Daddy, are we going to die?" This was the question Jonathan asked. I tried to assure him that we could make it, okay. But Daddy, he went on, we are not afraid of dying if we can all be together. And in this whole story, there is nothing except and in this whole story, there is nothing except this statement. This is the only statement that we will have to just take notice of. And this statement is very very much important, because a 6 years or 7 years of a small child is not worried about his death. He's not worried about the problem. He's not worried about anything, the misery and the suffering he's facing. When you will read the story, you will get so many, as I informed and told you, that in this story, and the narrator has given so many information about marine engines, marine engineering, and about boats and ships, that we don't know if we will not see them personally or as an object. But if we'll just uh, ignore all those things, okay, and if we will have to learn something from this chapter, and that is the one thing, and that is that the statement of Jonathan when he says that, Daddy, we are not afraid to die if we all are together. That is the hallmark, that is the backbone of this story. You and mummies, you and I. These are the full family members, husband, wife, son, and daughter. I could find no words, okay, with which to respond, but I left the children's cabin. I had to protect the weekend starboard side. I decided to have to with the undamaged port hull facing the upcoming oncoming waves. Using an this condition, we can't understand that what actually they are doing, what kind of problems they are having, and what kind of repair and mending work the narrator is doing, and how they are pumping out the water from their ship, how it is useful. We just cannot understand these all things, but we can think only that the narrator is extremely in deep trouble, okay, and he is going to die. He could see his death is in his before him. So death is dancing on the ship, and anyhow they are trying to just save themselves, their life, using an improvised sea anchor of heavy nylon rope and two 20-liter plastic barrels of paraffin. This is the aisle. That evening, Mary and I sat together holding hands as the motion of the ship brought more and more water in through the broken planks. The planks was broken, and from where the water was just coming in the ship. We both felt the end was very near, means they realized that they are going to die very soon. But wave walker, the ship, rode out the storm, and by the morning of January 6, with the wind easing, I tried to get a reading on the sextant back in the chart room. I worked on wind speed, and according to they have just training that how to just sail the ship. Changes of course, drift and current is in effort to calculate our position. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in 1,50,000 kilometers of ocean, looking for a 65-kilometer wide island. This they were trying to locate and try to find out. While I was thinking, Sue, moving painfully, joined me. The left side of her head was now very swollen, and her blackened eyes narrowed to slits. This was the condition of the small girl, Suzanne. On the front, she had drawn caricatures of Mary and me with the words, "Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh?" See how the children are, motivating themselves and just keeping their moral high. They are just she has portrayed some pictures and try to bring laughter, try to bring happiness for her family members. This is the morale, this is the value that we will have to inculcate from this chapter, because in this chapter nothing happens, but the action and the way of response by the two children, generally Jonathan and Suzanne. This is very very much important, and this kind of courage we need to install in our personality, in our life, in order to just face the adversity of our life. Hey, here are some funny people. See how they are bringing happiness. Did they make you laugh? I laughed a lot as well. Inside was a message. Oh, how I love you both. So this card is to you to say thank you, and let's hope for the best. These are the children, okay, who are just keeping the morale of the elders high, just motivating them, encouraging them. They are not the child, okay, of today's like that they are weeping, they are crying, and they are shedding tears to have something. They are playing and requesting their parents for something. Not like that. They are very much bold and brave. They don't complain, and instead they are just motivating their own parents, encouraging them, and just making some kind of fun, making some kind of painting in order to make them feel love. And even the narrator himself has accepted that he was feeling very happy and laughed a lot because of the painting and because of the sketching that was made by Suzanne. I checked and rechecked my calculation. We had lost our main bus and I was using a sphere which had not been corrected. For magnetic variation, I made an allowance for this and another estimate of this influence of the westerly currents which flow through this part of Indian Ocean. About 2 p.m., this is the records he is giving us. I went on deck and asked Larry is the two technicians whom he has hired to steer a course of 185 degrees. This is the direction they are deciding. If we were lucky, I hit him with a conviction I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. Then with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed on my bunk, and amazingly dozed off and slept there for a while. When I woke, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. I knew we must have missed the island, and with the sail we had left. It was the night time, and I could see anything. Everywhere the darkness was there, and he concluded that he has missed the island. We could not hope to beat back into the westerly winds at the moment. A tousled head appeared by my bunk. Can I have a hug? Nathan asked. She was right behind him. Why am I getting a hug now? So the narrator is asking why I am being hugged here. I ask because you are the best daddy in the whole world. See the morale, see the statement of children are very much important here. You will just see how they are talking whenever they appear, okay, in this story, and whenever they make some sentences, speak it, okay, recite it and repeat it. This is very much motivational, and that part is very much important in this story and nothing more, nothing else. So the son wanted to hug his father, and why he is trying to hug his father, just is giving explanation. Because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain, my son replied. Not today, John. I am afraid. Why you must be, said Sue in a matter of fact voice. You found the island. You found the island. What? I shouted. It's out there in front of us. And this was the thanks from the side of the son. They chorused uh, as a big battleship. I rushed on deck, okay, and gazed with relief at the stark outline of Isle Armstrong. It was only a bleak piece, okay, of volcanic rock with little vegetation, the most beautiful island in the world, because it has sheltered the narrator and his family members. So that's why the island was, although volcanic, but it contains some parts, okay, of vegetables, and that's why it was called and referred as the most beautiful island of the world. We anchored offshore, okay, for the night, means I stayed there, and the next morning all 28 inhabitants, there were 28 inhabitants on the island cheered as they helped us ashore, and they finally just they help us to stay there, and also they help us to, our ship to just connect with the land. With land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of Larry and Harvey, cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress, extreme stress, and of Mary, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours. And he was very much thankful for all these members, okay. And most of all, see the acceptance, see the admittance, and see the confess. I thought of a 7-year-old girl who did not want us to worry about a head injury, which subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between a skin and a skull. When they just escaped that disaster, and when they came in their city, and finally she was admitted in hospital, and there these things happens with her. 6 minor operation, and between a scale, between what is that, skin and a skull, and of a 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die. And he was also very much thankful for the boy who was not afraid to die in these dire consequences. So all the best, you do it, okay, read it nicely, and then do the NCRT questions. All the best, all of you. God bless you all.